Members and guests, welcome to the June 30th meeting of the Rotary Club of York. Our members are dedicated to service above self and Rotary's four-way test. Leading us today in our opening song and pledge is past President Brian Tate. Providing our invocation is Gordon Freirich, and introducing our visiting Rotarians and guests is our new member, Adam Saubel. Brian.
Rotarians, please join me. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam President, Madam President-elect, those words epitomize how the Rotary Club of York has changed as it begins its 106th year of service to the York community. Today, we mark the transition of the club's leadership. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven, Ecclesiastes reminds us. And today we give thanks for Anne Druck's steady leadership during a year that weathered a sea of challenges. And this today we look forward to a bright year of leadership with Jackie Summers at the helm. As this page of history turns, we ask God to bless our new leadership team with dedication and foresight, fortitude and imagination to face the issues that lie ahead. May they lead us as we embrace the concept of IDEA, the acronym for inclusiveness, diversity, equity, and accessibility, that will allow this club to grow and continue its good works, that in turn will allow our community to thrive. We pray in the spirit of peace and harmony. Amen.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. As President Anne mentioned, or I think they're testing me with being a new member, whether I should call her past president or president right now. So I'm going to go with President Anne. But as she said, I'm Adam Saubel. I'd like to welcome our guests today for attending today's meeting. We're happy you're able to be here with us. We know that you're really going to love today's program, and we hope that you join us again or actually become official members. Guests, when I call your name, if you can please stand at your table until all guests have been announced and recognized, that would be great. And if members, if we can please hold our applause until the end and everybody's introduced. First person, we actually have a visiting Rotarian coming from our Elizabethtown Club, David Hallowell, if you please stand. We have four guests today of past President Mike and about to be President Jackie Summers, or current President Jackie Summers. There are two kids here, Madison and Chase Summers, if you'll please stand. Nancy Hallowell and Greg Miller. We have a guest here of Bobby Ann DeLeo, Joe Alfano, if you'll please stand. And then our last guest today is Dan Kane, who is here with Rob Bowen. Members, if you'll please welcome our guests.
Thank you, past President Brian, past President Gordon, and Adam for that wonderful opening of our meeting today. We have several announcements, and welcome to our visiting Rotarian Dave and to all of our guests. We hope you are able to return and join us anytime. We'll be back here next Wednesday and every Wednesday after that at the Country Club. Rotarians and guests, you are invited to join Rotary's Night at the Revs. Our fellowship committee is hosting Family Night on Thursday, July 29th. Come out for food, family, baseball, and fun. And you can see Rob Bowen in the back of the room for more details. Starting next week, July 7th, our weekly meetings will return to a buffet luncheon. You no longer have to make reservations. So come one and come all. Our staff is very ecstatic about that. And we hope that you will continue to grow in numbers. I see a lot of folks that have been with us 1 or 2 times over the past year coming out today. Thank you very much for that. For our virtual audience, we will continue to stream live meetings on Zoom for those that are unable to attend. And I look forward to seeing all of our members in person for future meetings. Thanks to the great work of Mike Summers and our program committee, we have a fantastic lineup for our upcoming meetings. You will want to be in the room over the next 2 months, because on July 7th, you'll have an opportunity to meet our new York City Police Commissioner, Michael Muldrow. On the 14th, you'll learn about China-USA relations from Dr. Scott Moore from the University of Pennsylvania. On the 21st, we'll learn about the business of Thornhill Vineyards, an incredible handcrafted, exceptional Napa wines that they produce from owners Jack and Amy Thorne. They live in Lancaster. Cross your fingers for samples. On the 28th, Glen Hope Care Farm and Amy Morris and her farm and how they impact veterans. On to the following month of August, Caputo Brothers Creamery. Some of you remember when Rin spoke to us at the Yorktown. She'll be back to share their challenges and expansion, and also rumors. We need to get those two together, the wine and the cheese. There'll be some samples coming from Rin too. August 11th, our very own Bobby Simpson. He cannot scoot that day, right? Crispus Addicts and their 90th anniversary will deliver their history and their exciting future. And then on the 18th, our very own York City School Superintendent, Dr. Andrea Berry, will share what the school district has experienced, over these past 16 months and her vision for what's next. And finally, rounding out our amazing program lineup for the next 2 months, on the last Wednesday in August, we will host United States Senator Pat Toomey. Our senator will share DC happenings and what to expect from Congress and the new administration. You will want to be in the room for this lineup and other great programs that will follow. So it's a mixed blessing and it's a double-edged sword. And I'm sure you've heard Shakespeare, this saying from Shakespeare, that parting is such sweet sorrow. So today we get that mixed blessing and that sweetness and that sorrow as we say, best wishes and goodbye and thank you to our very own Patty Rooney. On July 11th, 2007, a force of nature entered our lives. A Lutheran pastor named Patty Rooney joined the Rotary Club of York. Neither the club or Patty would ever be the same. Now, almost 14 years later, Patty has decided it's his time to do his version of Brexit. I have to give you, that came from Gordon. That did not come from me. Gordon, thank you. He and Sally will be moving from York County to North Carolina. As the York Daily Record, and you wonder where that came from too, so rightly declared in January of 2017, Patty is a person who makes a difference. Nothing that we didn't already know. In the community, he served as pastor of a historic Christ Lutheran Church that was just a starting point for his incredible career and service above self, in which people always come first. Patty has been a special assistant in the Department of Welfare and president and CEO of a nonprofit organization serving mentally ill and developmentally disabled individuals. He has served, buckle your seatbelts, as a member and chair of the York City General Authority, chair of the York County History Center, board member of the York County Literacy Council, president of the York County Council of Churches, founding member of the Society of the Holy Trinity, and I think that's the one that keeps you jetting all over the country, as a member of the York County Four Chaplains Prayer Breakfast Committee. He also published sermons and taught sessions across the United States. He's also been an instructor for the OLLI program at Penn State York. Then is his Rotary work. Patty has served on at least half of our committees. That's 20 Rotary committees. In 2013, he was the Rotary team leader to Argentina. He served on the district conference committee. He was Rotary Club of York president in 16 and 17. He was 6 weeks into his term as president when he learned that the Yorktown would no longer be available, and we had to move not only our club, but our office, and you brought us here. And he had 6 weeks to do all that. He went on to lead District 7390 as district governor and for the 2019-20 Rotary year, and Lynn said PDG means pretty darn great. He was the Spark Club, an inspiration for our very own non-traditional student scholarship. He's a Paul Harris Fellow, as well as a major donor to the Rotary Foundation. His Rotary awards include the York Club's President Certificate of Appreciation for Service Above Self and Avenues of Service Citation. This May, he was presented the 4 Chaplains Legion of Honor membership. Through it all, he has never lost his sense of humor or somehow never lost his British accent. As Patty and Sally move to North Carolina, not to be farther away from us, but to be closer to their family, he leaves a legacy of service to York that has rarely been achieved before. He is the embodiment of Rotary, walking the walk and talking the talk. In honoring Patty this afternoon, we don't want to get too far behind schedule. Is that right? Okay. Patty, we hope you will miss us as much as we will miss you. Patty, could you come up to the podium, please? The man is weighing his options. So we have about 15 banners here because he is visiting various clubs in North Carolina and to try to determine what is the best fit for him. Who better to be an ambassador for York County, Pennsylvania, or the Rotary Club of York than our very own Patty. So you can pay for your wall with these, or you can give those to other clubs. It truly is an honor to thank you, Patty, on behalf of our club and our district and our international organization. So this is a certificate of excellence for pretty darn great Patty Rooney. With deep appreciation and honor and recognition of outstanding service above self, loyal dedication, and unwavering commitment. Thank you for your contributions to the Rotary Club of York and District 7390. The Rotary Club of York, the 30th day of June, president, and somebody needs to sign that. I think that might be me. So don't get out of town until I've heard it. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Would you like to come?
Thank you, President. And you actually did a very good job on the word schedule. I really don't have a lot to say. I'm deeply moved and very grateful for all the years that I've been able to spend here and to share with many of you my love of Rotary. And I do love Rotary, as you know. I think it's one of the organizations in the world that is making a difference in people's lives each and every minute of each and every day. And together, because it's not just any one person, together, we do make a difference. The motto I chose for my year as district governor was, in fact, doing together what we cannot do alone. Alone, we're not able to achieve all those things, but together we are. And I believe Rotary is an organization that allows us to be together, to make those differences in people's lives. So thank you for this time that I've been privileged to spend with you. Thank you for the opportunity to serve. And I do hope that you'll continue the legacy. I've loved this community, even as a foreigner, even as an alien. I've grown to love the York community very much. And I believe it's a community that has such wonderful opportunities presented to it. And I know that you, the Rotary Club of York, will continue to make a difference in people's lives. Thank you so much. Very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. Congratulations and best wishes and Godspeed to you. You certainly have loved our community, and our community has benefited greatly from your outpouring of care and leadership and your service above self. So now we're on to changing of the guard. How about that? Okay, what an unbelievable year we have had. Holy smokes. Everyone, take a moment right now, look around you, and just celebrate that not only have we survived, but we thrived. If you want to elbow bump, if you want to high five, if you want to high five, I got a couple hugs today. Yeah, hands to the ceiling. Those of you joining virtually, if you want to drop some thumbs up on your screen or some comments in the chat, thank you all. Unbelievable, right? In thinking about the opportunity to serve with you and to speak with you today at the podium as my last opportunity as president, really the prefix "un" kept popping into my mind. We can consider the obvious "un" as in unprecedented, but first let's appreciate how many ways that we turn so many "uns" into positives. We didn't unravel, we united. I do like that word. We weren't unmotivated, we were unique in our thinking. We weren't uninspired, but we were uncompromising in our service above self. Back to that big "un" though, 2021 was certainly an unprecedented yet amazing year for all of us, and thank you for that. Let's start by zooming way out because, we all need a little more zoom right now. And looking at how the last 12 months impacted our entire globe, planet Earth, before we zoom in to consider how more specifically it impacted our community and our club and all of us as members. 2021 brought significant changes to planet Earth, to our country, to our community, and to our Rotary Club. For planet Earth, unprecedented due to the global pandemic. We hear that word unprecedented a lot, but if we put it in perspective, unless you're 103 years old, nobody's been through this before, right? And the magnitude of what we have survived and thrived through is not an exaggeration. For the USA, unprecedented due to the nationwide civil unrest rallied around the killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis as a flashpoint for our country's historic struggle with systemic racism. Our nation also witnessed an unprecedented attack on the democracy we hold dear in January, the insurrection on our Capitol resulting in injury and death to our Capitol Police. And I'll never forget this because I was on a Rotary call at the time when the word came in, and there were tears on that call. So our community was impacted by the pandemic, by the racial awakenings, and this attack on our democracy. In fact, the need for our club to take a stand on diversity came crashing upon us as another one of these waves. And you can't control the waves, but you certainly can learn how to surf. So we've done a lot of hanging 10 this year. When what some consider insensitive comments were made to the media following a club meeting by one of our speakers, we could have put our head in the sand, we could have shrugged our shoulders and moved on. But as Rotarians, we are people of action. Thank you. Wait, as Rotarians, we are. All right, that's much better. We turn to those who are passionate about this moment in time for our nation, our community, and our club. During our club's 105th anniversary, we officially formed our club's first DEI committee. While recognizing that imagery isn't a cure, we dove in where we could and as quickly and responsively as we could. The first piece of business was a change to our Facebook page. You may recall the beautiful photos taken of our club leadership. Those were replaced with this image, better depicting the diversity that exists in our club and our community and the diversity we are trying to achieve as a club. The next piece of business was inspired during an early DEI committee meeting. You may recall that I previously opened our meeting stating the world ranking of our club size. For many years, this was a source of pride, and it is a source of pride. However, a more inspirational mantra for our membership was encouraged. The wake-up calls that shook our country and our community to the core signaled a return to our ethics as members of Rotary International. We intentionally start our meetings with reminders of our inspirations as Rotarians. Service above, all right, and Rotary's four-way test. The four-way test is nonpartisan, non-sectarian, ethical guide for us as Rotarians to use for our own personal and professional relationships. The test has been translated into more than 100 languages. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thanks to the input from the man that we honored today and his participation in this work at the district level, we quickly changed the name of our DEI committee to, as Gordon said, the IDEA Committee, Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, and Accessibility Committee. The fact is that diversity has been a struggle for both Rotary at the international and local levels. We took inspiration from a memorable presentation by Dr. Sylvia Whitlock of California, who led the way for women to become Rotarians and leaders of Rotary Club. The fight for equal rights for women in Rotary went all the way to the highest court in the land. It was the Supreme Court ruling that forced Rotary International to accept women. And this is one of those things where careful what you wish for. I went with my husband, can you back up one second, Ben, to, spoiler alert, I went with my husband to a conference, a door conference in Vegas. And what do you do when you're in Vegas? I don't gamble, so I went to the Rotary Club. Thank God, what a blessing. Because I would lose our shirt, you know. But Dr. Whitlock was the speaker. And honestly, Patty, it's like past district governor. I'm like, oh no. And thank goodness, it was at a steakhouse. So I went. And she was wonderful. And I thought, oh, I would love to bring her to our club when I'm president. Careful what you wish for. She came in via Zoom. So that was really special. Thanks for making that dream happen. And she was the first female president of a Rotary Club in the world. And a lot of men supported her to be in that role. But speaking of women in Rotary, okay, Ben. Don't you just love that joy? One of the most impactful decisions that a board of directors can make is the hiring of an executive. 2021 gave us another as in unique opportunity to celebrate almost 3 decades of service from Bert Oberdick. She's happy on her retirement day, and welcome our new executive director, Lynn Morrison. Thanks to our intrepid HR committee and our club leadership for navigating this transition, for their service and time to produce a meaningful tribute to Bert, and their dedication to the process of ultimately picking the best person to succeed her, and that is Lynn. And of course, her team up with the effervescent Renee Oberdick, as you can see her in the back of that previous picture. And thank you, Ben, to all your support to make our club's meetings smooth and successful through a lot of waves that have hit us. Thanks to our new IDEA committee and all of you who took the time to answer their survey and share your insights, we are well on our way of our individual, personal, and club journey to raise equity up from the grassroots. Evolve our club to learn, welcome, invite, and embrace more diverse voices. In addition to the members of our new IDEA committee, you all, every one of you, embodied Rotary's motto of service above self. Everyone who attended our meetings, retained membership, supported the work of our committees, attended our fundraiser, served on the board, and our staff who advanced our work. You displayed strength, fortitude, and grit. And these qualities are not gifted, they are cultivated. Your strength, your fortitude, your grit, combined with your commitment to service above self, created an outstanding 2021 year for the Rotary Club of York. Also, a huge thanks to the unflagging support this year of my family at home and my work family at the United Way of York County. It was an honor for me to lead our club over the past 12 months alongside Rotarians who united and gave generously of their amazing expertise, influence, and passion to create lasting change. And again, thanks to all of you through your hard work, your caring, yes, your love. You've made this year one more for me, and that would be unforgettable. I'd like to wish the best of luck to Jackie. I have a 4-leaf clover for you. You don't need it, but you're going to have a fantastic year. It certainly is an honor having had the opportunity to work with you on our leadership over the past year. And now it is my great and wonderful honor to ask past President Mike to introduce our club's next president, Jackie. Mike.
Good afternoon. I can tell you there's a buzz in the room. It's great to see a few more Rotarians back. And for those who are with us virtually, come on back. It's great. My fellow Rotarians, I have the unique honor and privilege to introduce the new club president, Jackie Summers. Enough about Jackie. How about me? This was back in 2002 when I took over as president of the York Rotary Club. And you can see that we had Madison and Chase, who are with us again today. We can see Chase looking held high. And this is how we look today. So Chase still likes to be held up. And that was one of our little Christmas photos. So I wanted to share those with you. Let me state a few things. Jackie is an amazing wife. She's an amazing mom, and she's a great daughter-in-law to my dad. But Jackie's also an incredible friend and worker and leader, and everybody she meets and all the organizations she works with. Jackie first joined Rotary in 1992 when she was the president and executive director of Junior Achievement of South Central Pennsylvania. And under Jackie's leadership, JA moved from a sleepy small not-for-profit to become a robust in-classroom, volunteer-driven teaching of economics and through kindergarten through 12th grade. Jackie also spearheaded what became Exchange City, now known as JA BizTown, that created a town center within a warehouse that included building facades representing a community. And it was meant to be a capstone experience for school kids to better understand how the local economy works. And it also happens to be a Rotary District project for more than a decade. While in Rotary, Jackie served on the Youth Exchange Committee, was an advisor to one of the exchange students, and served on the invocation, the program, the Rotary networking committees as well. She served on the board of directors in 1996 through 1998, and Jackie very well may have been the club's first pregnant member, giving birth to both Madison and Chase, in Madison in 94 and Chase in 98. Jackie is a multiple Paul Harris Fellow to be our 7th female president of our club in our 106th year. More recently, Jackie has chaired the Legacy and Planning Committee, Plan Giving Committee, and the Service Above Self Committee, along with serving on the CEF Board of Directors, and she is a valued member of the Program Committee. In 1999, Jackie retired from JA to be home with Madison and Chase and enjoy motherhood, raising our 2 kids. Along with the daily needs of our children, Jackie remained connected to the community, serving on various boards, and in particular chaired the York County Library System Board for 7 years, helping to transform the library system we know today. A younger Chase enjoyed quite a few groundbreaking ceremonies during that time. She also served during her at-home time on the Wellspan Foundation Board, the Southern York County School District Education Foundation, the PTO, and Levy House, to name a few, and more committees than I could possibly mention. As Chase went off to school, JA asked if she was ready to retake her position as president. She declined. Motherhood was treating her pretty well. But several months later, JA again approached her and asked if she would come back in a more limited role that would allow her to have complete flexibility with her family and have summers off. That was a move that was more to her liking, and Jackie re-entered the workforce and took on the role of primary fundraiser for JA. She created a new special event from scratch, Wines Around the World, that showcased Exchange City to potential funders, and the town facades quickly became various countries with food and wine pairings. It annually raises over $100,000 today. You'll see down in the lower left-hand corner, JT, who was her auctioneer chair, was trying to move in on my woman, but I have prevailed. People in the community always knew that Jackie was unique skill to networking and building boards and creating relationships with people of influence. And people started to notice her skills as a fundraiser, creating and running special events. After a half dozen years back at JA, Penmar Human Services approached her to come serve as the Senior Director of Development. Jackie works within a team at Penmar who have the responsibility to secure additional funding for a $40 million not-for-profit. Penmar serves 600 adults with developmental disabilities in the Northern Maryland and Southern Pennsylvania areas, and Jackie is one of over 500 employees. 3 former Rotarians have served as CEO of Penmar, including Greg Miller, who joins us today. Thank you, Greg. And many fellow Rotarians who served on Penmar's board. One of Jackie's signature fundraising events is the Penmar Gala. Over the past 15 months, bracketing the pandemic, the Penmar Gala has raised $1.4 million that significantly impacts Penmar and its services to its individuals. Jackie did not create the gala, but there is no doubt that she took it to the stratosphere as far as a fundraising event for our communities. Over the years, Jackie has literally raised millions of dollars for JA, for Penmar, and for the not-for-profits that she has been involved with, as well as a volunteer. In our family, family is number one, but work and community involvement is very much part of our DNA. And you may know that Jackie was just selected a Woman of Influence and in their more prestigious Circle of Excellence by the Central Penn Business Journal. And up on the slide, you'll see a partial listing of why. So we actually had to break this into 2 slides, which is tell you something about her. But in this first slide, you'll notice that in her past commitments, you'll see that she rose to chair or president almost all the organizations she was involved with. You'll also see that the things that she's still involved with, she's still very much involved in the community overall. And you'll see that Rotary has taken a more prevalent role as she moved into leadership of the club. Jackie definitely is a woman of influence, and what the Rotary Club of York is getting is a person who is giving of herself to make a difference in our community and who leads by example. Fellow Rotarians and guests, it is an honor to introduce you to our soon-to-be new club president, Jackie Summers. I'll ask President-elect or President-elect Jackie to join us and President Anne to join us, and they will do the changing of the guard.
You know, Mike, when she asked for summers off, that wasn't from her job. Before I install Jackie, we would like to acknowledge our outgoing officers, directors, and committee chairs. And those 4 individuals that served every one of our members on the board are Wilda Alessi, Diane Marino, Glenn Smith, and Phil Woods. Would you 4 please stand to be recognized by our club for your service? It was a challenging year, and our board did rise to the occasion. There was a lot of work that was shared by our board members, and I thank all 4 of you and appreciate the great job you did. And now it gives me great honor to install our president, Jackie Summers. Jacqueline Summers, do you solemnly pledge to fulfill the duties of the office of president of the Rotary Club of York to the best of your ability? I do. I messed it up. We'll do it in 2 phases. To advance the purposes of Rotary and to abide by the Rotary motto of service above self. If so, answer I do.
I still do.
She is doubly committed. Congratulations, Jackie. We hereby declare you installed as president of the Rotary Club of York.
Thank you. And as my first order of business, it gives me great pleasure to present past President Anne with the Diamond Past President's pin.
You should have left them on each other. We have a better appreciation for you guys, right? You could do this with your corsages.
Anne gave you, don't go, don't go. You'll have to come back. We're not quite done. So Anne gave you a great summary of what the year was like. And the key word that you heard over and over again was challenge. And she soared through those challenges with great aplomb, great dignity and honor. And so we have a special award for her that we'd like to present to her. And so I think this is the first time we've done this. For Anne Druck, President 2020-2021 of the Rotary Club of York, because you soared like an eagle. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Oh, here we go. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to install the officers and directors for 2021-2022. So when I call your name, please stand and remain standing until we can recognize you. As President-elect, Glenn Miller. President-elect nominee, Aaron Jacobs. Doug Berman is our financial vice president who is off college shopping and vacationing with his family, so he couldn't be with us today. Officers, do you accept and understand the charges of the office to which you are elected and will work with diligence for the betterment of the club? If so, answer, I do. Very good. Thank you. We can... I hereby declare you installed as officers of the Rotary Club of York. And now for our new directors, please stand when I call your name. JT Hand, Bill Hartman, Cal Weary, and Alan Roth is joining us virtually. Do each of you solemnly pledge to fulfill the duties as a director to the best of your ability to advance the purposes of Rotary and to abide by the Rotary motto of service above self? If so, answer, I do. I hereby declare you installed as directors of the Rotary Club of York. I'd also like to acknowledge the continuing directors, Courtney Bailey, Dennis Bachman, Steve Feldman, and Chris Toff. As I thought today about who could introduce me, there are actually several people that came to mind because I've been very fortunate and I know a lot of you very well, and you've known me for a really long time. And all of a sudden I went, oh, wait, yes, no, wait, there's someone here who knows me probably better than anyone else. And it does seem to make sense that I would ask him to do it. My wonderful husband of 32 years. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for your warm words of support and love. It's evident that the RI theme for your presidency year has resonated with you all these years later. Sow the seeds of love. When Mike was president and that was the theme, I think he said it once. That just wasn't something he was going to repeat a lot. But speaking of love, it means a great deal to me to have my beautiful daughter Madison here and my handsome son Chase. I'm so glad that you could be here today. Thank you very much. I am truly humbled and honored to assume the role as president of the Rotary Club of York, as Rotary has played a significant role in my life for nearly 3 decades, even though I wasn't actually a member all of those years. I was first asked to join Rotary by David Hallowell, who was then president of the Rehabilitation and Industrial Training Center, who now lives in Elizabethtown with his wife of nearly 61 years, Nancy. Thank you both for being here today. Dave was my proposer, and he told me that Rotary Club was an incredible organization doing important community service, and I would have the opportunity to meet and work alongside talented professionals. I joined in the early 90s and became immediately active in committees. Interesting, David just shared with me that he proposed 3 women presidents. Our very first one, Jody Keller, Marcia Bourne, and now me. So he's a pretty impressive fellow who works really hard to advance the mission of Rotary. I was at the height of my career as president of Junior Achievement of South Central Pennsylvania and had just signed the contract to bring Exchange City, now called Biztown, to York, when I went into premature labor and gave birth to 2-pound 4-ounce Chase at 26 weeks gestation. I'm happy to say Chase just graduated in May from Denison University. And by the way, always goal driven, the docs in the NICU named him the champ of the NICU, and he caught up quickly. Like his sister, he went on to be an honors student as well as a successful athlete. When Chase was born, my world changed, and I knew where my priorities had to be with my precious 4-year-old daughter and newborn son. And so after spending 10 weeks in the NICU, Chase was strong enough to be released, and I made the decision to leave my job and also Rotary so I could focus on being a full-time mother. I'm sure my children are chuckling, as they would be the first to tell you that I'm always working. But in truth, my faith and my family are my highest priority. Even after I resigned my membership, I often came as a guest and of course supported Mike in his year as president. But it wasn't until I began working for Penmar Human Services in 2013 that the opportunity arose for me to rejoin. I'm grateful to Penmar CEO Greg Miller, who's here today, and supported my rejoining the club. Like Mike, Dave, and others, Greg recognizes the importance of putting service above self, a mantra that he himself follows. As past President Anne aptly stated, this was an unprecedented time in our history, but in its uncertainty, we found a way forward and continued to serve the community in ways that were relevant and necessary. And the silver lining for me these past months was the opportunity to work closely with leaders of our club, past President Josh George, who remained so cool and calm and with quiet resolve helped us navigate the onset of the pandemic. Past President Brian Tate, who dedicated countless hours and his talent to our transition needs. Treasurer Doug Berman, whose expertise in accounting facilitated putting our finances and reporting in order. President-elect Glenn Miller, always a great source of thoughtful wisdom. Wilda Alessi, who along with past President Brian created our Human Resources Committee and developed our employee manual. And the ever fearless past President Anne Druck, who saw us through perhaps the most challenging year we've ever known. And this year I look forward to getting to better know President-elect nominee Erin Jacobs. These outstanding individuals and so many more of you in this room consistently demonstrate what Rotary is truly about: building bridges, service above self, fostering meaningful friendships no matter our background or our age, our gender, or our color. Lasting friendships are built here in this room. And to me, leadership is about basic tenets: the ability to listen, to commit, to communicate, and a willingness to be vulnerable. I see members of this club consistently demonstrate these qualities. Like so many clubs around the world, we took a major hit in our membership during the pandemic. But as we see a return to normalcy, so too do we hope to rebuild and refocus our energies and commitment to remaining the largest club in our state and among the largest in the world. After being apart for nearly a year and a half, we look forward to meeting in this room every week to reacquaint and reconnect. So each week will feature a member moment to learn more and perhaps something new we may not have known before about one of our Rotarians. This year's theme, Serve to Change Lives, emphasizes our core values: service, fellowship, diversity, integrity, and leadership. Diversity is a fact. Equity is a choice. Inclusion is an action. Accessibility is a necessity. And belonging is the outcome. With the addition of the Idea Committee and a commitment to being intentional in our diversity, we strive to make belonging an outcome for all. We'll continue our focus on connecting to one another, meeting the needs of our community, and by honoring the four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? There's no end to the positive change we can make in our own backyard and around the world. This year, we're asking each of you to propose a new member to our club by being part of Rotary International's Each One, Bring One initiative. Because when we grow more, we can do more. We have an aggressive goal of increasing our membership from 276 to 300. But with your help, it's an achievable goal, and I am confident we'll reach it. In fact, the membership committee has proposed 4 new members for board approval next week. So let's keep the momentum building. Imagine the impact we can make when there are more of us to serve to change lives. As past president Anne shared earlier, we have an incredible program lineup, and you'll want to be right here to experience. Let's just say tasting fine wine and fresh cheese is more appealing when you're here in person. I'm excited to be in the room where it happens and hope that more and more of you will join me each week, as together we'll learn, we will do, and we will grow. Rotary is significant everywhere, doing amazing work and blazing new trails of possibilities.
One of the incredible things about Rotary is knowing that there are people across the world who you can connect with. For me, that's just given me a sense of power and belonging. So I know that I belong anywhere. And I know that I've got Rotary friends everywhere. Knowing that you've got a global reach of people who are like-minded, that's the wow factor.
Rotary is one of the most powerful international organizations that a young person can be involved in. It's one of the world's largest humanitarian organizations, has a membership of around 1.2 million members. It's located in over 200 countries and geographical regions. Pretty much any country you can think of, there'll be a Rotary Club there doing work in the local community, as well as connecting to each other across the globe, working together to make the world itself much better.
As Rotarians, being able to do things like start projects that have global impact. And I always talk to people about end polio now, because we wouldn't be where we are today in terms of polio in this world without Rotarians starting a project. For me, that's the power in everything that we do.
You have this incredible organization, this incredible network at your disposal where you can learn from, engage with, run things through the organization. Rotary has 7 focus areas where it focuses its energy and its time. Those key areas are disease prevention and treatment, peace and conflict resolution, water and sanitation, maternal and child health, basic education and literacy, and economic and community development. And then this year, a new key area was added, which is the environment.
Rotary has changed my life because it's enabled me to help more communities and more people. Rotary is relevant in our own backyards and it's relevant right across the world. I think the way that we're working now as Rotarians and Rotary clubs is really changing, not just because we're in the middle of a pandemic, but because we're really thinking more about how we bring people into Rotary and let people know that Rotary is for them. It's a great way, first of all, to meet people, but also to do good work in your community. It doesn't matter who you are, if you have got a heart and mind for giving and helping communities and working with people, yes, Rotary is for you. That's what Rotary is, so yes, it's for everybody.
Our new RI president, Shekhar Mehta, says that caring for and serving others is the best way to live because it changes not only other people's lives, but also our own. I encourage you to join at least one of our 29 committees, each doing important work. Get involved in a project, participate in our Love for Community signature event on September 13th. Consider earning your certificate at the Rotary Leadership Institute, which is how I really got to know and love Courtney Bailey after commuting together to and from Central Penn Business School. Ask how to get involved so that you can serve to change lives. In the newly released July edition of Rotary Magazine, President Mehta shared a poem which is perfect for this year. The biggest gift we are given is the power to touch a life, to change, to make a difference in the circle of life. If we can reach out with our hand, heart, and soul, the magic will start to happen as the wheel begins to roll. Let's turn the wheel together so all humanity thrives. We have the power and the magic to serve to change lives. We are change makers. We are Rotarians. Thank you all so much. Next week, we'll have our lunch buffet style as we used to. And of course, again, reservations are no longer required. And if you haven't met her yet, please say hello to our executive director, Lynn Morrison, and be sure to say thanks to Lynn and Renee for the great work that they do on our behalf. I look forward to seeing all of you next week featuring York City Police Commissioner Michael Muldrow. And now for President Anne's final closing song for her year, the incomparable Sir Paul McCartney, With a Little Luck. Have a great rest of your week and a happy 4th. This meeting is adjourned.